Hey guys, Jason here with the One Stop How To Guys, bringing you episode 17 of Practical Drupal Development. Now, in this episode, we are going to be covering one of the smallest but an extremely useful module provided to us on Drupal, and that module is the Weight module. Now, this module is extremely easy to use, so this video is probably going to be kind of short. So go ahead and just download this module and extract it into your site's all modules folder. Head back over to your site and we are going to turn that module on. Now if we scroll down here, we are looking for the Weight module. Go ahead and turn that on. That's the only thing that you need to turn on. Now once this refreshes, I'm going to explain to you a little bit about the purpose of this module and why we're downloading it and why we're using it. Essentially, what this module does is it allows us to attach and assign weights to every node that we create. So, for instance, if we head over here to our new About section that we had just recently created, you can see that the first page that we have this link taking us to is the Who We Are page. Now, it would make a little more sense as far as navigation goes to have that link be the one on top, so that when you're looking at the sidebar here, Who We Are would be above What We Do. Now, the way that this view is currently sorting itself, if we take a look at it, is by the post date. Now, within this sort criteria, there's really no other way that we can logically sort this where we have control over the order in which these links appear. Now, we could just flip the sort date from descending to ascending, but that wouldn't be a viable solution because if we decided to change this link over to a different link, and there's 5 here, it could be really difficult to kind of finagle that and go back and change all the different post dates on each of the About pages and things like that. Likewise, here on the services page, we have our services just appearing in their post-date sorted order as well. Now, we may want to move Fine Wine to the first slot, and we might want to move tutorials up to the second, and friendly service down to the bottom, and we really just don't have a way of controlling that as of right now. And that's exactly what this weight module does. It allows us to assign a weight to each of these nodes, and then we can sort these views based on the weight that we've assigned to each one of the nodes. And that way we can then control what order these all appear in. Now, in order to get this module working, we need to go to Structure, Content Types, and since we're here, we'll start with the Services content type first. Go ahead and click on that. And you will see that down here at the very bottom in our default settings, we have this new Weight Settings tab. The first thing we need to do is enable the Weight module on this particular content type. And then we need to select the range for the weight. And this is plus or minus 10, 20, 50, and 100. So the amount of weights within each of these weight ranges is not 10, 20, 50, and 100. It's actually 20, 40, 100, and 200. So remember that. On smaller content types, things like our About section, we really don't need that many ranges of weight because we're not going to have that many nodes within that particular section. Now, there are some companies that may have a large range of staff members that they're posting to their website, and they want to be able to sort those staff members based on certain criteria, and you may need more of these weight ranges for that, but we're just going to select plus or minus 10 for this, and we will save our content type. And now when we come back here, there is one other thing that I just realized that we did not put on this view, and we really should because there's no way to get to the node itself. So as a quick side note here, we're going to head on into this view, and we are going to add a field here. We're going to type edit into the box, and we are just going to provide a simple edit link. This will allow us to edit the content directly from this page, and I'm just going to type in edit here. This is the text that will appear on the actual views page. and we're going to go ahead and save this out. This will just let us edit these nodes directly from this service's overview page without having to come up to content and finding it. So we said that the first one that we wanted in our list was going to be fine wine. So now you can see here at the bottom we have this weight setting, and you can see our ranges. And now you can see for smaller content types, y plus or minus 100 really would be a little excessive for this. So we're going to assign this to -10. We're going to come down here to tutorials, and we're going to edit this, and we're going to assign it to -9. Now there's several ways that you can set this up as far as sorting goes. And I like to think of the lower the number, the farther up in the order it will appear, and we'll assign this to 8. You could alternatively do it the other way around. The higher the number, the farther up it will appear. But I just like saying that -10 will be the first and +10 will be the last. So we'll come in here to our view and we'll edit it here. And we are going to add a new sort criteria. And the weight module integrates nicely with views, and it allows us to sort by the weight. So we're going to do that. And we're going to say ascending, and the ascending order is the -10 is first, +10 is last. The sort descending is that -10 is last and +10 is first. So if you're thinking about it the other way around, you're going to want to go descending. But if you're thinking of it the way that I'm thinking of it, you're going to want to use ascending here. So we're going to apply that. And then in order for this to work properly, as you can see, nothing's happening here as far as the order changing. And that's because what it's doing is it's sorting it by the post date first. So it's keeping it in that initial order and then trying to sort it by the weight. Well, since none of these articles have the exact same post date, it won't really flip things around because it does a Unix timestamp for that post date. So even if you manage to hit the save button almost simultaneously, one's going to be quite like a millisecond later than the other one. So it's not affecting the order properly. So we need to get rid of this post date in order for that to work. So we'll just click it and click remove. And now you'll see that our order has changed. So we're going to save that. And what's nice about the weight module is, if we look at this and we say, well, One Stop is really based about tutorials, not fine wine. Fine wine is just something we do on the side. We can quickly on the fly just edit this, change its weight to 10, to -10, save it out, and just to be safe, we're going to change fine wine to -9. And now we have reordered the listing of our services to be the order that we wanted them to appear in, and you can change them on the fly. So as you can see, the weight module is extremely easy to use, but it's extremely helpful when it comes to laying out the content on your site the way you want it. So we're just going to head over here to the About section and quickly do the exact same thing, structure, content types, About. We're going to turn on the weight module with a range of plus or minus 10. We're going to close this down. We are going to say that who we are is going to be -10. And we could theoretically leave this just the way that it is now because what we do would actually be a weight of 0. But because I'm going to be a little bit picky about how this is set up, we are going to go ahead and assign it to -9. Now, I know some people like to leave gaps where they'll assign 1 to -10 and then 1 to maybe 5. And that way, if you add new nodes later on and want to put them in between that, you've got a nice range of weights in which you can do that. So that's just something to think about. You may want to provide yourself with a little extra spacing in there. Now, all we have to do is edit this view. We need to add the weight sorter. Sorry, my phone is ringing. We need to add the weight sorter there. So we will add that weight by ascending. We will remove the post date. and our order is now the order that we want things to appear in. Now, I do want to give a quick disclaimer here. It is probably a good idea to not put the wait module on any sort of content type that is not going to be using it. And the reason being is just that it's an added piece that can really confuse the people who are going to be editing the content. There's no reason to have the wait module on there and having them ask questions like, what is the point of this? Why do I need this wait? When it's actually not being used. So even though this module is really small and it's not going to really affect load time really at all, it's just nice to not put it on content types that it doesn't need to be on. Now, I know this was a really quick tutorial and we didn't really cover anything extremely confusing or extremely difficult, but it is something that is really important to laying out the content on our website the way that we want to. And remember, the more control you have over your website, the better off you are in the end. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next episode of One Stop How To Guys Practical Drupal Development.